welcome to Search About Rugby League. We're going to run through the betting odds now for this week's Super League clashes. I've got our betting expert Paul with us. Would you say expert?
Definitely not, no.
So we'll start off on Thursday night when Wigan take on Toronto. What are the odds for this one?
Well, Wigan obviously very short favourites, 1-6, with Toronto around about 6-1. Obviously, all these odds you shop around, you'll get a little bit better. But the handicap's about 16, which is quite interesting, really. Wigan, for all the short price favourites here, they only played against 12 men against Warrington and scored 16 points. I think they scored. Part of the game was against 11. And they didn't score a try against 11. In fact, I think probably Warrington were closer against. So I'm not really sure Wigan are up to absolutely hammering the team yet. Toronto, obviously, they do look a bit limited at this moment in time. That we've said they need to sign. I think Wigan will win the game. I think Wigan are very good at winning games. Probably just doing enough to win. I think they've done that the last few years. I think probably Toronto on the handicap at 16 is probably the way to look at this one. They do have a really, really good team spirit. They look well beaten at one stage against Salford, but come back from nowhere to get right back in the game. I think they were get back level within about 10 minutes to go. So yeah, I think Wigan will win, but I think Toronto getting 16 start on the handicap. If you're looking for man of the match, would have been a live game. Probably you can look at the usual suspects, the likes of Jackson Hastings. I know if you're looking for a Toronto man of the match, I've said this before, and we want games with outsiders. You know, the 6-1 to win the game. If Toronto are going to have a man of the match man of the match, they're going to probably have to win the game. You're probably just better backing them at 6-1 to win the game and try to pick someone for Toronto to be man of the match. But I'd probably look to Hastings or French man of the match in this one.
Yeah. Should we do a 6-team accumulator
on the handicap? Yeah, we'll have a look. Yeah, we'll have a look. Toronto. Yeah.
And then we'll move on to Friday. Then that's Wigan Toronto games on TV, and then on Friday the TV game is Salford Huddersfield, which is a tough one to call. Which side of the book is swaying?
The bookies can't really split them, but they're just favouring Salford 8-11 with Huddersfield about 6-5. The handicap, you're going to get about 2 start for Huddersfield, but you'll probably be favouring Salford in that one. I think it depends which way you're going to go on this one. I think if you're going to back Salford as opposed to going -2 on the handicap, I think you're probably better backing them at 8-11. But as for Huddersfield, you can get 6-5. To win the game, you could probably get 10-11 up with a 2 start. Obviously, with the game going at golden point, or you probably sometimes a bit safer to take a bit of insurance there. As for me, I was quite impressed with Salford last week against Toronto, but I was just a little bit worried the way Toronto came back in the game, like I mentioned before. So I've actually picked Huddersfield to finish bottom, but they surprised me more than anyone against Catalans in week 1. Obviously, Caesar looks a real man of steel contender. The only thing that could stop him is they don't win enough games for him to get the points. But so I think probably Huddersfield in this one, getting a 2-point start just to give himself a little bit of insurance. Right,
interesting. Now, I think all the games are quite tough to call this weekend, and another one that's tough to call is Leeds Hull KR. Now, 2 teams who were down at the bottom last year, and I think from what we've seen so far it's a bit interesting because we've been quite impressed by Hull KR, haven't we? Are you going to back them to go to Weddingley and get a win, or?
This is a real tough one. I think if you're close, I think 4 of the games are within 6 on the handicap. It's really hard which way to look at Leeds, to be honest. We've only played once. I think we've mentioned in the predictions that we think that this is going to favour the team. The teams that played last week are going to have advantage over the teams that didn't, obviously because getting match fitness and a bit of cohesion. I think this could, if the weather's good, I think this could be quite high scoring. I think both teams will score tries. I think Leeds might just pinch it. Leeds around about 4-9 with Hull KR 2-1. But I do think Hull KR getting the 6 start on the handicap. They played really, really well at the KCOM last week against in the derby against FC, and obviously the really good win week 1. So yeah, I think probably Hull KR on the handicap. Yeah, right. Getting 6 start.
Interesting. So far we've got Toronto, we've got Huddersfield and Hull KR, is that right? Yeah. On the handicap. Yeah. So we move on now to a team that I've really impressed so far, Castleford. They go to Catalans. Now, France is normally a tough place to go, but Catalans convincingly beating on the opening game against Huddersfield. Didn't play last weekend. Is that going to affect them, or can Castle?
I really think it probably will. Yeah, I think it will affect them. And Castleford have got a few out, but I think you went to the Wigan game and it said the real team spirit there. And as you've mentioned, I think with Darryl Powell's teams, it's round pegs or round holes, isn't it? Players just fit into the system. They all play the Cass way. They're all in it for each other. I think Castleford could win this. Catalans, I mean, that was just debacle week 1 against Huddersfield. Not really quite sure what happened there. Like I say again, the odds are really tight. Castleford around about 6-4 for the win. Catalans around about 4-6. Obviously, again, shop around. If you look around, you can get a few points higher. But Castleford conceding 4 in the handicap. This is one of the few. This time of the season where the pitches can be wet and the weather's bad. So it always pays maybe to take the plus more than the minus. There's not many blowout games, but I think this time I would go for Castleford -4. Yeah.
Right, interesting. Now this game we were talking about before we came on air is Hull versus St Helens on Sunday. Now I think the odds for this one have definitely changed after last week's results, haven't they?
I was looking at Saints conceding 8. I can't believe Hull are actually favourites for the game. I mean, I think there's an old cliche that form's temporary, class is permanent. I think there's been such an overreaction to the way Saints have started. Week 1, second half, they absolutely blew Salford away. We were in the grand final last year. Hull have started well, fair play to them, but I've mentioned before, something always seems to go wrong with Hull somewhere down the line. So I can't. You've given me 2 start for St Helens on this one. I think Hull about 5-6, Saints about 11-10. Saints getting 2 start definitely. Fair play. They've got a few players out, but they're used to that now. They've got a tremendous coach. I mean, the coach can make a difference, but this guy's probably the best team in the world at the moment. If he can manage them, he can certainly manage St Helens. So yeah, St Helens will come good sooner or later. I'm pretty certain it could well be Sunday.
Right, and rounding off the weekend, we've got Wakefield hosting Warrington. It's another interesting one to go. I mean, I'm interested to know what the handicap is on this one. Where are we going?
Again, Wakefield's a tough place to go, isn't it? Bellevue. They're getting a 10-point start. Warrington conceding -10. Round about 3-1 for a home win, with Warrington really short at 1-3. I think Warrington have probably been the team of the competition so far. I think they were absolutely superb against it. I mentioned it on the prediction to 0 Saints. It didn't flatter them. Across the park, they were pretty much faultless, to be brutally honest. They played really well at Wigan the week before. Probably would have won the game with 13 men. They defended for their lives on the line. Wigan really didn't look like scoring. So tough one, because obviously a lot of teams don't go to Wakefield and win by 10. But I do think Warrington have started well. I think having last week off could really hamper Wakefield. I think they used the excuse of Catalans that they wanted to get the game played. I think you could tell there was a bit of a desire from the Wakefield camp to get that game played on Monday night. They couldn't do with the weather. So again, I'd probably, my own rule is usually to go with the plus early in the season when the pitches are bad, but I think Warrington can win this by more than 10. Yeah.
Right. So just run us through quickly where you're going with each game.
Well, I'd go Toronto +16 at Wigan, Hull KR +6 at Leeds, Huddersfield +2 at Salford, Castleford -4 at Catalans, Saints getting a 2 start at Hull, and Warrington -10.
Right, so that's your ACCA for this week, guys. It's going to be an interesting week. We've got Jack in the background there putting his ACCA on. If he don't come in, then
don't blame me.
Thanks anyway, guys. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.